chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to...
Well, I'd like to start the show off with a hearty, let's go, Brandon. It's been a while since I've done an episode. You've got James Hayden, your commentator for Crusader Talk Radio and Podcast. We are put on by the Civis Gravis Society, which you can check out at civisgravis.org. Civis Gravis simply means a government that the people are happy with and a people that the government are happy with. You can also check out all of our radio shows. I think are still currently posted from Season 1 at crusadertalk.com. Also, there is a fundraising link up in the menu bar. Please click. We could really use some funding. In that, I'd like to be able to do some traveling and interview some good guests. I'd also like to do a little bit of investigation. Everything has a budget. And I'd like to do more intense radio shows. I've always appreciated real content. Nonetheless, I'd also like to go on, as usual, to thank our military personnel for keeping us safe from some real evil mofos out there. As always, I want to thank our emergency responders who help us when we F ourselves up or when the pandemic plague has nailed us to the wall. They come and save us. Always trying to turn turn the sheeple back into people. It's been a while because I got this Let's Go Brandon going in my head. I keep wanting to yell, Let's Go Brandon. A lot has happened since my last show, which has been some time. It was a busy summer. I do a lot more episodes. I usually go weekly from fall right through spring. And, boy, today is October 15th, 2021, and I'm actually recording this about 10 p.m. So let's see what's going on and what is current and pressing. What are the events and issues that our president is facing? My man is getting slammed by land, by air, and by sea. And I feel for him to have dementia that bad and have all these responsibilities you're never going to fix. I'm looking at the list now. It's dawning. Okay, number 1, border crisis. I would love you all to please, I'm going to put a link into the Spreaker page. You can go to our first season. I want you to listen to my very first episode. What inspired me to do my first episode is I went to Joe Biden's campaign page in October and November. And there is a link there about immigration. I can't believe he posted that publicly and he got voted in the office. But my personal opinion is he did not fairly win the election. Number 2, Costco and a number of other retailers have announced through different news media organizations that they are warning us there's going to be a paper product shortage. We're going to run out of shit tickets again. Wow. Let's see. Oh, of course, we're still on the COVID mask crisis. I love that the libtard neo-Prague Decepticons. I hope I'm not stepping on copyrights or anything, but I truly believe that the term Decepticon from the Transformers is a very accurate term for the liberal neo-progressive freaks of nature. So anyways, all the neo-progs have got all these laws in their states, their cities, their towns, and on that masks are mandatory everywhere. And, boy, I was looking at a news article today. I forget her name. One of the House of Representatives who really pushes it was dancing with somebody with no mask in a public group. Okay, number 4. Oh my God, the Afghanistan crisis. Wow. Boy, I can understand reasons for fighting the war in Afghanistan and maintaining a presence and not. But, I mean, everybody is reported. I'm preaching to the choir here. How you betrayed tens of thousands of people who were our allies and many are citizens and pulled the carpet out from under them. How come you didn't get everybody evacuated first and then pull out? But I mean, that's an absolute obvious question in response to such a mishandled slapstick comedy routine. I mean, my God. Oh boy. I've also been reading the critical race theory conflicts going on at school board meetings. And that one guy, oh my God, his daughter, he claims that his daughter was raped in the bathrooms by a transgender, a male using a girl's bathroom. I have a daughter, and Jesus, dear Lord, please bless that man and his daughter. I couldn't handle it. I really could not handle that. They're lucky all he did was beat some asses. I was reading San Francisco is overrun with homeless, which I call a sanctuary city crisis. One of the problems they're having with being overrun with the homeless is the amount of urine that's in the streets causing bacteria buildup. Food and gas price crisis, they have just been sweltering month in and month out, month in and month out. Available job crisis. It's really weird. We have supposedly a shortage of workers, but September showed a huge drop in the number of available jobs. Oh boy, the great big number 9, the great big, the search is on. Where's Waldo? Brian Landry, or however you want to say his name. I'll tell you now, they have deemed her, the coroner and the autopsy has shown that she was murdered. They're stating by strangulation. And it's 3-4 days later, and they haven't charged Brian with murder. That says a lot. And if you look at how they were handling or are handling the search for him, they're handling it as a missing, not so much a missing persons, but a witness search. They're handling him more as a witness than a murderer. He hasn't been charged with murder. I'm curious to get more details on the credit card fraud that he's actually being charged with. But to be honest, considering all things, it seems kind of minor. And if they haven't charged him with murder yet, that says something. There is more to this story than meets the eye. I do believe that there's a good possibility there's an alternative narrative than just primitive caveman boyfriend domestically murders his girlfriend. There is a number of things that could have went down. They're out on the road. Where they went and camped was a very rural area. I've done a lot of camping. I've visited many different mountains, small towns, rural areas, remote areas. I've been to places I think I was like the first white man to ever set foot on. But they could have gotten in trouble with some locals. Out in rural areas, there's not a large supply of beautiful women, and she was definitely a beautiful young woman in the prime of her life. And if they're out in the rural area, she would have attracted everybody. I grew up in a small town. New people. Oh, it's wonderful because you're related to everybody in town, but you've got those that live isolated from society and have developed some pretty violent, ridiculous habits. What I think is also they could have owed a drug dealer. They could have owed gambling debts. They could have witnessed something that made someone want to kill them. What I believe is that if there is an alternative narrative and Brian Laundrie did not directly murder her, then I think he may have witnessed her get murdered and could not deal with his own self being intimidated or not being able to save her, and he took off and ran home to his mom and his dad. And to be honest with you, the more I think about it, it seems like a more likely scenario. But this is just opinion. This is not to disrespect the families or create any more hurt or harm. But I do believe there's more to this story than just a straight-out domestic violence nightmare. There's some weird twists and turns. For instance, if it was Dog the Bounty Hunter... for instance, Dog the Bounty Hunter started to conduct his own investigation. If it was a murder that involved a perpetrator crossing state lines, and if it's her card that he's charged with fraud with, he's committing crimes related to the murder across state lines had he been charged. Okay, Dog the Bounty Hunter would not have been able to come in. He is not a licensed private investigator. His wife carried all the licensing. He was simply an employee of her company. Him and his friggin' super mullet. In Florida, he could never get his private investigator license ever, having the felony. Hawaii is a little more liberal on how they allow the regular citizen to conduct investigations. And so my statement about it crossing state lines and everything would land it directly in federal territory. It would be the FBI investigating the murder, which I believe they are. But Dog the Bounty Hunter would not be allowed to and would be considered interfering with an investigation if he went to the prime suspects and people of interest and started knocking on doors. Hey, I'm Dog the Bounty Hunter, man. Hey, man, I'm going to help you find your son. I'm going to solve this murder. You know, I help thousands of people, and I can't stand the man. If you can't tell by my voice, I can't stand him. For that momentary, that minute in time and fame that he was involved in it, he made the murder and the investigation into an entertainment joke. He is a dunce. I will say it wasn't him who came up with the whole idea for Dog the Bounty Hunter. It was his wife. She was very smart. I'd almost say that she was ethical, but I can't stand a scurvy dog like Dog. And then today, I just saw on the news that the interior design was hit with violence by climate activists. And I'm actually looking at a couple articles right now. Numerous activists protesting fuel projects, maybe fossil fuel projects, were arrested on Thursday. They staged a, like the old-time sit-in at the Interior Department, which led to multiple injuries. So they didn't stage a sit-in. Sit-in, I remember from the 70s, even though I was a kid, was a bunch of people who come and they sit down and they make it difficult to be removed, but they're non-violent and non-attacking. At worst, the police will have to drag them away and put them in the paddy wagon. But they don't fight back, they don't hit nobody, they just crouch into a ball and try to resist in a passive manner. So again, I mean, there you go. There's more liberal violence. Do you know that in 2021, the number of child murders, and I've been following this since 2020, but, oh, pardon me. And I'm okay. I don't have COVID. Take it easy. My goodness. I have a buddy who likes to smoke cigars, and I don't get out much. And we smoked a cigar yesterday, and, oh, I hate cigars, but